Well, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving weekend, whether you were spending it feasting on some food, going Black Friday shopping, or maybe even Cyber Monday shopping, or for all my wrestling fans out there, checking out Survivor Series, and especially with those returns of Randy Orton and one CM Punk. But for my NFL fans out there that have checked out, stopped by this video right here, man, that NFL Week 12 slate is probably not as tasty as the food that we ate on Thanksgiving. But we have to talk about it nonetheless because we're here to talk about the week that was Week 12 of the 2023 NFL season. And it all began with the Thanksgiving slate that happened on Thursday as it kicked off with the Packers storming into Ford Field and forcing 3 first-quarter turnovers on Jared Goff, and Jordan Love equating that with a 3-touchdown performance as the Packers pulled off a Thanksgiving stunner on the Detroit Lions, 29-22. And then you had the Dallas Cowboys breaking it open in the fourth quarter as Dak Prescott commanded 4 total touchdowns on Washington's broken-ass defense, and cornerback Deron Bland notching his 5th pick six to set the single-season record for pick sixes. Yes, that's a record and a statistic somehow. But nonetheless, the Cowboys beat the Washington Commanders with ease, 45-10. Then in the nightcap game, Christian McCaffrey gashed the Seahawks defense all first half, got 2 hard-earned touchdowns at the goal line as the 49ers defense shut the door on any life of a Seattle comeback in the third quarter and got some good old-fashioned and long-awaited revenge on Seattle that happened in 2014 in Levi Stadium, and now got it in Seattle on Lumen Field as the 49ers ate some damn turkey on Seattle's field and beat the Seahawks 31-13 on Thanksgiving. Then you had the first ever Black Friday game in the NFL as the Miami Dolphins took on the New York Jets, who provided another Thanksgiving weekend moment. First, you had the butt fumble in 2012. And now, 11 years later, you provide another Thanksgiving moment in the form of the Black Friday pick six as cornerback Javon Holland of the Miami Dolphins took a 99-yard house call before halftime, and that was the decider in favor of Miami as they took care of the Jets 34-13. So now let's get into the actual Sunday slate of games, starting with the early morning portion as Desmond Ridder shook off 2 bad interceptions to put the floater touchdown for Bijan Robinson in the fourth that put the Saints away 24-15 in favor of the Atlanta Falcons. So I guess for the Pittsburgh Steelers, blaming Matt Canada was certainly what the Steelers needed. You got rid of Matt Canada, and the Steelers go for 400 total yards of offense. Albeit they only scored 1 touchdown, but nonetheless, they looked a little bit better as they squeezed by the Joe Burrow-less Bengals 16-10 and got a key AFC North victory. The Houston Texans cut a 10-point deficit down to 3 with just 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, but unfortunately, overtime was not to be as CJ Stroud's kicker, Matt Amendola, the backup kicker, had the tying kick just fall a little bit short and doinked on the center crossbar of the field goal uprights as the Jaguars held on to beat the Texans 27-24 and got a season split between the teams. Jonathan Taylor scored 2 big goal line touchdowns for Indianapolis as edge rusher Samson Ebukam made a game-winning strip sack on Baker Mayfield to lift the Colts past the Bucs 27-20. And then in a game that saw Mac Jones get benched once again for the 4th time this season, it got even more humiliating for the New England Patriots as a chance to go to overtime was wiped away thanks to their kicker, Chad Ryland, missing the tying kick wide left with 6 seconds left to go as the New York Giants beat the New England Patriots 10-7. And then for the Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry's 2 first-half touchdowns was just what they needed. It was all that they needed as their defense held off the Carolina offense. And yeah, it's so crappy, man, that the Fox cameras were focusing so hard on Bryce Young, putting his head down in shame that you kind of feel bad for him. He's putting his head down in shame after the Panthers' last gasp 4th down. But nonetheless, the Titans beat the Panthers 17-10. Then in the afternoon slate of games, Matt Stafford threw for 3 touchdowns and the rushing game notched 2 scores each as the Rams scored an easy win over the Arizona Cardinals 37-14 on the road. The Broncos bullied the Browns on both sides of the ball as Russell Wilson played one of his best games of the season with 2 combined touchdowns, 1 passing, 1 rushing, as the Broncos got a key AFC victory over the Browns 29-12 in their pursuit of a playoff spot. Then receiver Rashee Rice and running back Isaiah Pacheco unleashed a second half flurry by scoring a touchdown each to help the Chiefs break away from the Raiders 31-17. Jalen Hurts overcame a shaky first half to help the Eagles rally back from 2 different 10-point deficits as Jalen Hurts rushed his way in the extra overtime period for the winning touchdown to beat the Bills 37-34 in overtime. And then you had your Sunday night football game of week number 12 as receiver Zay Flowers scored both a receiving and a rushing touchdown. The rushing touchdown coming late, being the deciding score as the Ravens squeaked by the LA Chargers in a tough one, 20-10. And then in the Monday Night Football game that nobody absolutely asked for, and I was watching Monday Night Raw more than this, and that even was kind of disappointing in of itself, especially the CM Punk promo. But nonetheless, the Bears sapped out the Josh Dobbs magic by forcing 4 interceptions as Cairo Santos kicked a late game-winning field goal with 13 seconds left to give the Bears the upset win over the Vikings 12-10. So that is your Week 12 game slate, and that's pretty much what happened around the league. Let me know how your team did or didn't do in this Thanksgiving weekend in the comments below. Did they feast or be feasted? Let's start a discussion about it. So now let's get into my 2 winners and losers of this week. Starting with my winners, not too many of note because, just not a good week of NFL football. But anyway, there are 2 winners, the Denver Broncos, because for the second straight week, it looked like the offense with Russell Wilson, they put together another strong performance against one of the top defenses in the league, that being the Browns. So, slowly but surely, like I said last week, the Russell Wilson and the offense is coming together. It's just, at the right time, Sean Payton is having them perform pretty well. So now that the winners of 5 straight, possessing a 6-5 record after starting 1-5, including that embarrassing 40 to 50 point loss in Miami, the Broncos, how things are gelling together on both sides. It seems like, even though I said that it might be a little too late to make a playoff run, a stretch run at a playoff spot, hey, maybe they can reverse that trend that I was talking about if they continue to play well on defense, create some turnovers, and Russell Wilson continues to play very solid. And then the Green Bay Packers. Perhaps they made the big statement of the week at the start of the week and on the first play on offense. So that statement play being Jordan Love throwing down deep to one of his receivers and being aggressive on both sides of the ball, like pretty much all game long, by Jordan Love playing his second straight good game and forcing 3 turnovers on Jared Goff in the first half and to create this big lead that was pretty much never in doubt. So with the Vikings losing on Monday too, this could be the opening that the Packers needed to make a stretch run for one of the wild card spots in the NFC. Just as long as they continue to play well and maybe score an upset win over Kansas City next week. And their schedule after that is not too bad. So the Packers, hey, the door's open for them. Speaking of the Lions, one of the losers of this week is the Lions. So this is the second straight game where, this is a winnable game for the Lions, yet turnovers absolutely killed them. Those turnovers all created by Jared Goff. He created 3 turnovers in the first quarter because he can't protect the football. And even though they managed to escape that against the Bears, this time against the Packers, in the better defense than the Packers, they could never truly recover from that. Sure, they managed to cut the lead very late, but it was too late. It was too late for that. So not only that, a defense that seemingly made improvements were frequently getting gashed by Justin Fields and Jordan Love. So going into the stretch run in December for Detroit, a seemingly tough schedule. It could be getting tougher for them. With the Saints, the Bears, the Broncos. No, they're not playing the Broncos anymore. I think the Vikings twice, and then the Cowboys. It can get really tough for them if they don't get it together. as they especially try to lock up the NFC North. So the Lions better be careful here. They really have to be careful here. And then the Buffalo Bills. This past Sunday was another indication of the Bills. Their season is pretty much a flash in. I don't know if they say flash in the pan is the right phrase, but it's a season of where did it all go wrong? Because yeah, Josh Allen has had his frequent mistakes. He's made his turnovers, but he's also played some good games. He also put the Bills in some good spots. So not everything is his fault. And part of that is what happened on Sunday. There are other reasons as to why the Bills lost that game in Philadelphia, in a game that they should have won. They were up 10 points on two separate occasions. The Bills blew those leads twice, thanks to their defense, thanks to a secondary that can't cover or tackle. And yeah, Josh Allen miscommunicated at times with his receivers, but his receivers could have done a little bit better too, adjusting on the catch. But nonetheless, this team looks dysfunctional. They look discombobulated, however that word works. But for head coach Sean McDermott, he also made some questionable coaching decisions, especially at the end of the regulation period. He made a really bad decision to try and not make a push to win the game in regulation with 20 seconds left, despite Tyler Bassett, his kicker, his problems. So why not try to go for it broke there? Throw the ball downfield. Josh Allen has had some good success there in that game late. I don't know why you didn't go for it all there. So all in all, this loss was another clear as day reason why Bills are either going to be one and done if they somehow make the postseason, or they're not going to see it at all. And at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if I see some changes heading towards Buffalo this offseason. So finishing things off with my recap, obviously my one big takeaway from this week. And let's take a look at the Carolina Panthers, because they made the waves this early Monday morning because they decided that enough was enough. We had enough of the bull crap. We're going to fire head coach Frank Reich. We're not going to wait till the end of the season. We're not even going to wait till Christmas. We're not even going to wait till the middle of December. We're going to not even wait till December. Once December hits, we're going to wait. We're going to do it now. We're going to do it at the end of November. So they fired Frank Reich on Monday morning. So he finishes up his tenure with Carolina with the 1-10 record. So Frank Reich is basically done as head coach. I think he's one and done in back-to-back seasons. Correct me if I'm wrong in that, but either way, it's just the latest event in a sad scene that's going down in North Carolina. So, like I said, you kind of have to feel bad for Bryce Young. Sure, there are some things that he can work on himself, but he's not developing as expected because, well, look what he has around him. No offensive line, a supporting cast that is very underwhelming, and a head coach that's not doing anything to help him progress. So now, not only is Bryce Young going to go into his first full offseason with a new head coach that owner David Tepper is probably not going to play to his strengths, but also you're going to an offseason that you're probably not going to get even more help because your salary cap situation, which may or not be good, as well as your draft picks or the lack thereof, because, well, you gave it all away to the Chicago Bears to go and get Bryce Young. So for a Carolina Panthers fan out there, buckle up because potential dark days, especially if you don't nail the head coach, if Bryce Young continues to struggle, even with a decent supporting cast, dark days could be ahead in the next year, or maybe in the next 2 years, or maybe even more than that. This could be scary, ladies and gentlemen, for Carolina Panthers fans. So anyway, that is my thoughts on week number 12 for the NFL. Let me know how your team didn't do in the comments below. And we're heading to that stretch run, ladies and gentlemen. December football is the most important time of the year. Not because it's just Christmas, but playoffs. There. Now time to think about playoffs. So this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun, ladies and gentlemen. Watching all these games that have actual meaning in them as we head into January and into the postseason. So yeah, should be interesting to see. But anyway, those are my thoughts on week number 12, and some good Thanksgiving, not really good, but some good Thanksgiving food, and then watching football while doing it. And yeah, let me know what food you ate, and what games you didn't like or liked this past weekend. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. So anyway, this is DylanLasagna signing out of Very Cold Lasagna, and keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. And until next time, peace out.